Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all those who've joined today. Good morning and good evening to people from other parts of the world. Thanks so much for joining in to another Lead Squared webinar. Some of you are regulars and have been joining us every week. Very happy to see you guys again. And those of you who are new to this, we do sessions every single week. We do have webinars every week, and they're always free. So do tune in for some if you find any of them interesting. Today's session is all about the call center. So, how do you manage a remote call center team rather, and the operations? Some of the things that we'll cover today are, of course, managing the call center, on-premise cloud solutions, ensuring higher productivity from call center teams, of course, working from home as we all are right now, how to achieve faster reach out, higher quality conversions, more sales, enhancing customer experience, safeguarding data, and of course, a very brief discussion on the Ameyo and LeadSquared integrated solution. So, to take us through the session today, we have speakers from Ameyo and LeadSquared. From Ameyo, we have Gaurav. He is the head of product marketing. And from LeadSquared, we have Vineet, who is the associate director in sales. So, Gaurav, Vineet, if you both could please share a few lines about yourself. Gaurav, as you are the guest for the show, please take it ahead.
Thank you, Shubhani. Yeah, thank you, Shubhani. Hey guys, this is Gaurav. So I think if you want to get a brief about me, I've been working with Ameyo since last 4.5 years. I lead the inbound marketing as well as the product marketing function. My experience is a more of a cross-functional experience where I engage with customer sales, pre-sales, inside sales, and even with the partners. So that is me. Over to you, Vinny.
Hey, Gaurav, thank you very much. Hello, all. So, very welcoming afternoon to you all. And so my name is Vineet, and I'm with LeadSquared from 4.5 years. So, I take care of South India sales. So like, and total roughly 8.5 years of experience into different domains. So in finance demand, and then in telecom. So working with LeadSquared has been, it's like a great learning, a great, time till now, a great show till now, and hope to see the same in the coming years. So we will start now. So Gaurav will be taking over the agenda of today's discussion.
All right.
So over to you, Gaurav.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Vineet. So I'll quickly run through the agenda, guys, and so we'll talk about the challenges of going remote. I believe everybody is in the zone where we are all in our homes, locked down. A lot of COVID-19 pandemic and a lot of COVID-19 stuff already we have consumed that. So we're sticking up to what are exactly the challenges of remote engagement when it comes to a contact center and a remote sales team. Then Vineet will be talking about the key components that you need to have an effective sales engagement while you're sitting remote. Then we'll talk about how LeadSquared and Ameyo solution comes together and helps you streamline your sales processes. What are the exact benefits of using an integrated CRM and a call center solution system? And then finally, we'll talk about, I think we'll go through LeadSquared mobile app product that they have built, catered to remote engagement. And then finally, very important for monitoring teams, managers, or supervisors, how to get a hold of your remote agents and ensure that the productivity is still high, like business as usual. All right. So this will be the agenda. Quickly moving on to the next slide. So I'll talk about here. I'll give some time on the slide where I'll talk about the exact challenges that we have seen at Ameyo in terms of taking contact centers remote. I think last week, maybe 2-3 weeks earlier, suddenly there was a shutdown or a lockdown, not only in India, but there are a lot of geographies where the lockdowns were in process, or the government were in discussions to create a lockdown in the future, or maybe extend that lockdown which was happening there at that particular moment, right? So what essentially happened was everybody went remote. So the first thing that came into every business enterprise, I think a lot of you would have joined would relate to that, that how do you ensure business continuity of your system, right? You will have agents, you'll have softwares that would be capable enough to run remote. You should have your architecture or your infrastructure ready in such a way that even when your agents go remote, you'll be able to serve your clients, or maybe able to, in case of a sales use case, maybe able to make a sale or have that engagement going like business as usual. So that was challenging. Um, in terms of what we've seen, not only in sales, but I think there was also cases where, from an infrastructure point of view, agents or the calling people, they were not equipped with laptops. They were running into problems in terms of the a stable internet, or using a laptop. There were challenges where everybody were not able to uh, provide all these infrastructure ready, made available, so that their workforce can be working remotely. So that was happening. And then security was another concern. I believe recently you would have also heard about Zoom running into a security problem. So unlike like Zoom, there were a lot of enterprises, when they were looking for solutions, security was one of the main aspects that was running through their mind, so that their teams, whatever engagement that is happening for their business processes, is secure. Then finally, coming on to the productivity aspects, I think collaboration within remote teams became a problem. uh, Usability became a problem, because all of a sudden the software that you're using, if it's not work from home ready, so you'll probably jump on to a next solution, or maybe go to a competition, I don't know. But the thing is, for an agent, it might be hard to grasp all the usability features in one go if the product is not intuitive enough, and he or she will have trouble in terms of building that strong engagement or using that product to the maximum, right? And then finally, if you talk about the sales use cases, context was another problem. A lot of contact centers that we see in the market was, they were only providing point solutions where you can only do telephony remotely. But what about customer context? Uh, if you guys are selling to a client, if you don't have that information of that client available with you, it's just a call that you're doing. You don't have a background on what you should do, what you should speak. Do you have that extra information available in your CRM that you as an agent could use? So that was one thing that I believe still a lot of the business are not able to solve till today. And then finally, the quality of voice. So I think that was also a key factor, because in terms of the regulation, although government, let's say in India, opened up, relaxed some regulations when it comes to web RTC or web real-time communications, but as soon as this lockdown started, businesses were running into some problems setting up these web RTCs as well. Finally, people have been able to stabilize it, but then voice quality was a problem when you're going remote. So I think these were the challenges that I as an individual, or I as a individual working from a for a company who specializes in a use case of customer service, contact center, and customer engagement, right? So these use cases, what I've seen, have been real use cases that businesses have seen in the last 30 days. Vinith, what do you think in terms of your company or your business customers? What are your challenges that you have seen businesses face?
Okay, thanks, Gaurav. I mean, sure, these challenges have been with all the customers that we have interacted. I mean, all our existing customer or the prospects. So in last 30, 40 days, I mean, our interaction has been around things like how to cope up with the COVID situation. So because of the COVID impact, everybody is locked. I mean, uh, so people are locked in their homes, and most of the teams, I mean, doesn't have a laptop as well. So in those case scenarios, how to enable them to get access to the data to start working from home. I mean, so and also data security, I mean, should be there. So all these, I mean, challenges have been there into the businesses. So most of the businesses, they adapted quickly to the call center solutions. They enabled the mobile app to the sales guys to come out with this kind of, I mean, like situations. So yes, but I mean, challenge wise, I mean, these were the major challenges. And so talking from a business point and from the team's point, I mean, if we, like segregate these challenges into two categories. So one would be the challenges that the business would be facing. So those challenges would be basically uh, as you very rightly mentioned, the infrastructure challenges, then the security, then uh, if you're talking on the second point, the team wise, like how to collaborate in between the teams. So Zoom and like Teams has, I mean, come out with, I mean, these kind of things to do the collaboration. But at the same time, we as a company have also come out with, like the logics and the notification system can be built where, like the manager would be able to send out communication to the teams, and he would be able to do the notification on the mobile app. And they, I mean, the like teams who doesn't have the laptop, so they would start working from the mobile itself, and all the, all the notifications, all the rules, like all the messages they will get on their mobile apps.
Correct.
So walking
Correct.
further,
Yeah.
so walking further, So these are some of the more challenges. So data security, as we discussed. So Gaurav, accessibility to the system, it has been a major problem. It's because this, lockdown was like all of a sudden announced, and the companies, they didn't have like enough infra, or like everybody was working onto the desktop system in the office. So in most of the organizations, so they were not ready for this kind of situation. So now all of a sudden, okay, people were asked to remain at home and work from home. So if you don't have, if your employee doesn't have a laptop at home, it's like he is like helpless. He cannot do anything. So how do we enable, those kind of things to ensure that the work continues? Then there has to be, it's like team effort. So as a sales manager, or as a process manager, I should be able to track, all the activities, all the efforts done by my team. Then of course, the allocation, how do I assign tasks, I track the activities. Then also there was a major challenge among all the businesses is to maintain the productivity level. Say when everybody is coming to office, in a normal day, on a regular day, like there is certain benchmark of the productivity. So in case if nobody is coming to office, how do you ensure that the productivity is maintained? And lastly, and most importantly, is the data security. The organization where sensitive data is stored onto the systems, how do we ensure that these telephone numbers are not misused? The number of the customers or the email IDs are not like misused by the users. So those things like has to be covered.
Yeah,
so bringing it yeah, please go ahead.
I think I was just thinking of your last point. I think there are some verticals which I think will be very important for somebody. Although I know travel as a vertical is down for a bit. It will be down for the next 6 months also. But they'll be having a lot of cancellations that they would have to do. And then when somebody is working remotely, as a travel company, I would want, as a travel supervisor or a process supervisor, I would want that at least my numbers, the agents that they are talking, the customers that the agents are talking to, that numbers are not visible. And the masking is still there, which used to happen in the earlier system, which was when they were working from office. But when they go remote, how will I ensure that? I think so. These are problems that we have also seen with most of our customers.
Correct. So to take it further, so we have divided, as I told you, that so one is the problems that the business is facing, and second is the problem that different teams and the users are facing. So now to understand the problems that businesses are facing, so we have to understand what are the components of a business, or say, what would be the process that on which a business will be mapped or will operate. So starting from in any business, so it will start with generation of inquiries. Those inquiries have to be given to the respective teams, and then there would be a qualification about those inquiries. Then there would be like prioritization on those inquiries. So also I'm talking from the perspective of the capabilities of LeadSquared as well. So all these are also the abilities of LeadSquared, where you generate your inquiries from offline or online sources or through telephony. So if it is coming from telephony, so there we are. So we're talking about like a call center and a CRM solution together. So if you get an inbound phone call, so automatically a lead record gets created. Now depending upon the lead, the profile of the lead, automatically a score is assigned to it. And then we write the logic in the system to distribute these leads. So distribution happen, and based on the distribution again, it is pushed into the call center. Okay, so distribution logic can be so region wise, product wise, or different other logic as per the business process. Then the sales, the prioritization happens, and then once so based on the disposition of the call center, like the leads get updated, and based on those updates, it can be pushed to a different bucket for nurturing and for marketing activities. Then there will be a complete end-to-end sales tracking. That's how a business flows normally, to ensure that whatever comes in, so 1,000 inquiries coming in, out of 1,000 inquiries, say some 100 are sales ready, and the remaining has to be taken a follow-up. Like follow-up is required. So some has to be moved into the marketing budget, some has to be moved into the funnel, and it has go through the journey of inquiry to customer. So these are the various the processes that normally a business operates through. And then every business would require the reports and analytics from all these corners, from which source how many inquiries generated, so how many has been distributed to A, how many B, how many C. and like how many has been converted into customer, how many are there in the pipe, so what is the performance of the sales guys, all those stuff. So that's how the business is, kind of mapped into different pieces. So now, once we go with call center and a CRM solution together. So if you talk about Ameyo's, call center solution. So Gaurav is the best person to explain on this. So Gaurav, I need your help here to explain this slide.
Okay. All right, Vineet. So guys, I think as we talked about the challenges of going remote, and then finally we worked on with sort of an app process of a complete lead operation, lead distribution, and then nurturing, and then finally monitoring the whole setup that there are no leakages. When it's conjointed with the call center solutions, how Ameyo plays a strong role. I just want to brief on that. So I'll cover both the points. One is the remote challenges that, from a customer engagement point of view, businesses are facing, how we help. So first of all, because of the experience that we have, dealing with enterprises and providing deliveries to 2,000 plus clients all over the world, and also not only from a historic data point, but I will also talk about, I think we got close to 100 plus customers, existing customers and new prospects in the last 30 days, where we helped them get business continuity plan in place and provided us with our work from home ready solutions. So with Ameyo contact center infrastructure, you will get that. Second is the flexibility through which the Ameyo contact center will work is, not only you will be able to do good quality customer engagement with in conjunction with LeadSquared, but you will also be able to monitor as a supervisor. You'll also be able to monitor or real time manage your call center queues if you want to do that. If you want to transfer some outbound agents or outbound workforce of yours from one particular campaign to another campaign, you would be able to do that real time still when you're sitting remotely. So that is one of the differentiators I want to talk about, rather than point cloud telephony solution. And then finally, security is one aspect that is quintessential for every business, whether it be for a bank it will be on the highest priority, but not so for a smaller or medium market business. But still, from a security point of view, based on delivery, based on the experience that we have done for work from ready solutions, our integration that sits with LeadSquared, uh, there'll be PCI DSS compliant, which is a standard compliant with the, mostly this is recognized for the banking customers. But with that, I can assure you that our contact center infrastructure, from a security point of view, will be able to take off the security headache for your work from home ready customer engagement solution. So these are the three key pointers that we cover for a business point of view. Uh, and from an operational point of view, I'll go through the slide. I think Vineet will cover a few points, and I'll just talk about those things as they come. All right. Vineet, can we go to the next slide?
Sure. So we're talking about LeadSquared and Ameyo, integrated solution. So I just wanted to touch here that touch this point that LeadSquared fits into Ameyo iframe, and so there will be a unified login available to all the agents. So once you go into Ameyo's, log into LeadSquared, then no need to do log out or all the dispositions. So they need not to toggle in between different screens of LeadSquared and Ameyo. So they will be working on a single screen, and all the dispositions, all the activities that an agent do, so he'll be doing on the same screen. So all the data would be available to him on the same screen. Now, so as we were discussing that when we have a kind of an integrated solution, so the most important part of a business component, as I told in the first slide, was to get inquiries. Now inquiries are coming, so whether it is online inquiry or through telephony, so those inquiries has to be captured. If it is an inquiry coming on a telephone, like on a cloud solution telephony like Ameyo, so automatically a lead record gets created into LeadSquared as well. So we are integrated in such a way that any incoming call comes in, automatically a lead record gets created, and the agent who is talking would be able to dispose that call and fill the relevant information. The pop-ups comes on the screen itself. Also, once inquiry come in, at the same time, the logic to assign or to distribute these leads can be written in LeadSquared. Now, those logics can be based on the region, say, for example, or based on the product, or say, I mean, somebody, there are 3 different teams. So if the inquiry is coming for product A, it has to go to Delhi team. If it is coming for product B, it has to go to Mumbai team. Or product C, it has go to some other, I mean, field sales or like call center, I mean, teams. So those kind of logics can be defined into the system. And once you define those logics, and once we assign these leads, so now like everybody is working on the mobile app in this COVID situation. So they should get a notification on the mobile app that, okay, this lead has been assigned to me and I have to work upon it. So this facilitates basically the user that he get a notification, this lead has been assigned to him. And also from the business point of view, the turnaround time, like, see, the turnaround time is reduced because like as soon as the lead is assigned, automatically the sales guy get a notification and he called to that. I mean, he called to that lead, he understands that, okay, what is the inquiry about? And also in the, so while these things are happening in process, so there is an inbuilt, this thing, I mean, quality scoring that, okay, so if these inquiries are coming that has to be pushed to a campaign into call center, so based on the quality scores, it can be pushed into the call center. It means which leads are there, okay, which has to be contacted first. So if the quality score of, let's say, I mean, more than 8 has to be, I mean, contacted at like utmost, or the first priority should be given to them. So those kind of, if we have those logics, it helps us into, the prioritization of the calling.
Yeah, Vinny, I just
Now,
want to briefly, Vinny, I
sure,
just had a few pointers in terms of the things you talked about, the lead turnaround time. It's okay, we can be on this slide. So I think from a sales perspective, a lot of businesses and a lot of you might relate to that. Whenever you are trying to mutual funds or whatever, you're going online, you fill forms on 7 or 8 different websites or which are offering that product or offering that service, right? Then it actually matters how quickly your agent turns around and gives a call, and the probability of the business closing that deal is higher for the one whose lead turnaround is the minimum, right? So if you have an engagement, positive engagement, and you quickly engage, chances are that you will get the deal. So this has been proved. I don't have data right now, but we have seen in a lot of our customers, a lot of our even partners, where wherever there is a sales use case, the faster I think the faster turnaround time is, the higher the chances of you getting a positive engagement or you being able to convert that lead into a actual opportunity. So that is one, turnaround time. Second is I think Vineet showed a slide where when you call on your server or you call on your company mobile number which is configured in your contact center, you'll be able to create a lead, right? And you can do the calling part from the mobile itself, but you'll still have as soon as if you do a click to call, or if the call comes in, you'll still be able to do the calling on the mobile part. So I think from an Ameyo's perspective, we can configure those agent extensions with your GSM phones when we do this integration with LeadSquared, so that you have the context with you in the system, and you can also have a mobile phone at your hand where you can engage with good call quality, because a dual call leg is a PSTN call leg usually. So with that is a good call quality, and you have sufficient context with you where you can talk to your customer. And finally, all the recordings, like whatever calls is happening through LeadSquared Ameyo integration, everything is not only is it available in the LeadSquared CRM, if you saw that slide, but it's also available on the server side, on the DB or the back end of your system, so that even if your supervisor wants to pull up that calls and maybe see how your agents are doing remotely, how are they calling, is it the same level of quality that they're doing right now? So those kind of decisions can be taken with all that information available. I think that's it, Vinith. We can continue. I think just add 2-3 points to put across.
Gaurav, of course. I mean, so those points were, I mean, it's really valuable, because I also, I mean, I mean, I realized, so based on the discussions with a lot of clients, especially into insurance, lending, and edutech, where a customer who is like submitting his inquiry over like website. So normally he does that with 4, 5, or 6 different service providers. So now the first thing, he's like whosoever engages him first, the chances of closures are really high there. So turnaround time to cater to any inquiry is the key to get that deal. First is the first step into that into that direction basically.
Correct.
So coming again, so we're discussing about the quality scoring. So these quality scorings can be like ascertained into the system. So based on the attributes that we define about the lead. So that basically helps us to understand that, okay, out of 100 leads, these are the 20 which should have 80% of our focus, or it's like how to do a prioritization into our selling process. So that's what it talks about. So I'll take 2 scenarios. So one is when in the call center, what happens? See a fresh inquiry coming in. So fresh inquiry coming in, I see that, okay, automatically a lead score is attached based on certain this thing. Attributes calling from the city, or like age, or say whatever parameters that we have. So based on that, I would be able to understand that I have to speak. Like 2 things I have to ascertain. So first is what I need to speak to this person and how I need to speak to this person. So that will basically pave the lay, or it will lay the foundation whether this deal is going to be closed or not. When we're talking about inquiries are always like perishable. So the first call itself, the customer gets that confidence in the first call whether they should be like going ahead with this service provider, or they have to sign up somewhere and like they have to see some other service provider as well. So one is this. Secondly, now if the call is coming from an existing prospect, so the data is already in the system. So if the data is in the system, and if call is coming from the same number, so automatically it recognizes that number, and a pop-up comes, and there is a display about the information. So sticky note, or there will be a call history, activity history, that what all has been done on this lead already. So the agent who is talking to this lead will have a fair understanding about this lead. So he would be able to make a better conversation. So if he gets all this information, definitely his conversation would be better. So that's what the prioritization or the quality scoring and the lead scoring helps the users and the sales agent to do a better conversation. So also I have taken some of the use cases where these kind of the processes works out, where the different organizations are there. Different the businesses process are there. So in some businesses, they would want to initiate a call automatically when the product usage is low. So LeadSquared has LeadSquared has an ability to get integrated to the core system of the customers, and the signals, those signals can be pushed into LeadSquared depending upon if the product the usage of the product is low. It has to be pushed to the call center for a proactive calling and understand that why the usage is low. If in case of lending, insurance, these companies where there is a renewal pending, or even SaaS platform where the renewal is pending or collection is pending. So then again, if the date, those workflows can be designed into LeadSquared to understand if if the collection is pending from say more than 15 days. So it has to go to the call center, a campaign. So in that pending campaign has to initiate it, and the call center agent would be able to communicate that to the customer. If there is feedback has to be taken for a product or service that has been taken by the customer, so those calls can be initiated. Or if a product has been sold and there is an opportunity of upsell, cross-sell, all those things. So after 30 days or after 45 days, so what is the optimum time to touch base? So we can so we will be able to configure those things into the LeadSquared system, and based on those logics and rules, automatically it will flow into Ameyo call center.
Yeah, I think
so this is how,
just a small thing I want to discuss. I think from a channels point of view, not only from a contact center point of view, but if you look today, the adoption of mobile messengers has suddenly increased a lot, and a lot of people are asking for WhatsApp business APIs. They wanted to, so basically the thing is everybody is there on these platforms, which customers today sitting remotely are using it more, not only for personal perspective, but also from a business perspective. They're using it a lot. Examples would be WhatsApp, Facebook messengers, right? Live chat. So these kind of, I would say, digital transformation channels, they are also increasing. I think so. Configuring these systems with the LeadSquared can help a lot of businesses because today you have to take it out to the customer. I mean, you will have to be present where your customer is present. And I'm not only talking it from a from a theoretical sense, but like with Ameyo, we have seen there's a lot of interest that businesses are showing when it comes to these channels of WhatsApp, live chat, Facebook messengers, right? And I think for the people who have attended today, if their business platforms support calls, emails, chats, so they should also think about the digital transformation for these channels, because I think in the next 6 months or so, or maybe things will change a lot in the coming few months, or maybe next year. I don't know, but the way we do interactions, the way we do use the way we use channels, it is going to we are going to see a big shift in terms of where the users are. So I think configuring these signals and then um, triggering them through different channels. This can be something that businesses, especially businesses who have not transformed their strategies and who have been behind in terms of the digital transformation, should be working out in their roadmaps or their strategies. Over to you, Vineet. I think I just wanted to add a small point
Yeah,
here.
sure, Gaurav. Also, so in continuation to that, I also wanted to add that in the last 6 to 8 months, the requirement to integrate with WhatsApp business like has increased, like considerably. So it is the ease of, the customers are also, kind of eased to see all the communication happening at WhatsApp. So we at LeadSquared would be able to opt all those channels. Whether it is call center or through WhatsApp. So based on the signal that we get, so we would be able to send out communication in the most optimized way, where like most optimized for the business and for the customers. So this is how I just try to show that how does an integrated system look like once we have say calling done by an agent. So two things are there. So one is like the data is pushed into the campaign, and like through the dialers it's like pushes to the agent whoever is available, and the conversation happens. And once the conversation happens, the recording from Ameyo is pushed onto LeadSquared as well. So if you can see on my screen, so outbound call, so there is an activity outbound call, and the recording of the conversation is also there. So the supervisor or the managers would be able to view this. And secondly, there is something called as click to call, where the agent, so they have to just take their cursor, or if they're working in the mobile, they have to just click on the number and call get initiated. So that's how. So one is the click to call functionality, and second is whenever a call happens, so that will be available to the agent, that or to the supervisor as well. These many activities about calling has been posted on. So we discussed about all these use cases which are kind of relevant to different industries. So some of the use cases and the industries where these like call center and LeadSquared as a solution has been like already in use are in the process would be like collections or renewal or the premium payments or eKYC. eKYC into the BFSI segment. Then online inquiry, admission management, or e-counseling in the education and edutech segment. Then in the health tech and tech health segment, the appointment scheduling and online consultation. And all the tech businesses, it's like internet-driven businesses. So their account management, farming. So those guys, like, let's take example of Swiggy's or all these kind of customers. So the onboarding is not happening because they are not able to go on the field. But yes, the farming task, so they would be able, all their agents would be able to call from the mobile, and they would be able to do the farming task. So these are some of the industries and the use cases that has been catering already. Now coming to, so we had a discussion, till here about the businesses and the problems and the solution to those businesses. And now I'm going to talk about the teams. So how to, track the teams who are working in the home, in the lockdown, so because of this COVID situation. So how to track and manage the remote working workforce efficiently. So the solution is, I mean, very simple. As so we're discussing, I mean, from the beginning, and we have been, I mean, talking about it. That yes, I mean, like okay, data. I mean, access to system and data is the first and the foremost important thing that needs to be, you know, it's like enabled for all the users. So mobile app is the solution for that. And then for the telephony, I mean, there has been so there has to be an integrated Ameyo plus LeadSquared solution to ensure that telephony and CRM is there in place, and so whatever activities are happening, that will be captured. So we also talked about the data security in the first slide. So number masking is already there with us. So we would be able to mask the number to ensure that data is secured, and the user would be only, you know, so they would be able to dial the number. They will not be able to see at which number they're dialing in. Then to configure all these, I mean, processes, so there has to be, you know, the workflow designers and forms and process. So LeadSquared has the like capability to build those workflows through forms and process, and to completely map the business's process onto that. Then the last one, and like most important, as I told you, is there has to be a reporting from all the corners, especially on the productivity of the team, because so two key points here on the productivity. First is we should be able to track the efforts by the users. What is the effort there? I mean, like putting in. So to track the effort, we should be able to know that how many activities they have posted, how many tasks they have created, how many calls they have made, how many hours of conversation is being done in a day, in 8 hours. So I think so this kind of reporting will help the managers and the supervisors to ensure that they track the performance completely, and from every corner they are able to track every salesperson, that what is their like working hours, how many activities, how many total calls have been done. So somebody who is making, you know, like less number of outbound calls. So if you see, so John has got only 19, where Sean has got 141. So there can be a benchmark, and then we would be able to define that, okay, hey, I mean, this is not matching up. And secondly, if this is low, so I can run an automation at LeadSquared, sending out a notification to this guy, hey, I mean, your like calls are very low. It is just 10 in a day. So the sales guy will also know that I am being tracked, and he'll not be sitting at home aram se. I mean, he will be doing his stuff. He'll be doing his activities. So I mean, in short, we should be able, or we would be able to track the complete activities that the sales guys are doing at home. Then some other reports which can be pulled out, and so LeadSquared and Ameyo, I mean, both would be able to give those reports in terms of the calling hours, the number of calls, and all that stuff. And this is about the performance report of a sales guy. Yeah, I think Gaurav would want to add that there's something.
I just wanted to add a few points from a contact center perspective, that right now, as everybody works remotely, and when you talked about the contact level reports that you can get, so you can hold your workforce accountable how much work they have put in. But if I go from, I'm trying to go a level deep in terms of the contact center. So things like your agent is available or not, you know, your how much. So Ameyo also provides an agent self KPI monitoring tool. I don't know. I'll have to check with Vineet on this if they are doing it. If we are providing this with LeadSquared, but that can be checked. But with these kind of tools, an agent can also track his own activity, like how much time is he active, how much time is he spending on the call, what is the average first call resolution that he has, or maybe the average time he's spending on the call. So these some metrics, so that he is also motivated. And secondly, from a monitoring perspective, as Vineet mentioned, that how many calls has he done, how many leads have turned into opportunities, and if they have not, so did you do the calls? So these kind of questions supervisors will be able to ask. And also from a reporting point of view, with Ameyo, you can also schedule reports from a contact center perspective. I'm talking, if a contact center perspective, you want to schedule reports with let's say you have 3 supervisors, or you have a manager above your supervisor, so you would be able to do that as well. And finally, you can choose your KPIs, which are important for your business, especially in the remote work center setup, because what we were doing when we were in the office, some metrics might be different. I don't know exactly what, but there might be some metrics which are different. So you can create your own customized reports as well, whatever suits best to meet your requirements. So these things will be available to you, so that you have a big, like a stronger hold on this whole remote work thing. Over to you, Vinit.
Sure. Thanks. Gaurav, thanks. Yeah. So I was talking about, so as Gaurav, rightly mentioned, so those reports are, very, very, critical and important. And, it can be scheduled at, some stakeholders' email IDs as well, so that, every day in the evening or every day in the morning, if they want to have a look at the report of the previous day, they would be able to access that. Similarly, LeadSquared as well, from the perspective of, the performance of a sales guy or an agent. So we would be able to, go and drill into that. Okay, how many leads sales guy is working upon, how many activities he has posted, and further, if you want to go deep down onto it, so Ashish Sharma, he's working on 50 leads. So I can go, so if I click on those 50, so it can give me the list of all those 50 leads where he's working upon, and I can see each of them, that what is the activity he has been posting onto those leads. So there is a follow-up due, there is a bot, it is a converted into customer. Then, so whatever, dispositions he has captured. So those things can be, seen by and tracked by the supervisor or the manager. Then we would also get to know the reports about the funnel, that, okay, how many prospects are there, how many has been converted into customer. So the complete flows, product-wise or say, region-wise, or salesperson per se. So all those, drill downs and reports are possible into LeadSquared. So now we'll talk about the benefits of having an integrated. So I'm trying to collate all the points that we discussed in the previous slides. So what would be the ultimate benefit that a customer is going to get if he has a CRM plus integrated, CRM and call center integrated solution, LeadSquared and Ameyo. So first is yes. So all those inquiries coming on from different sources would be captured. One source would be definitely, the telephony, and there would be a view where he would be able, the agents who are there, okay, working so onto those inquiries, so they will have a 360 view on like all those data that has been shown to them. So they would know that what is the conversation that has happened previously, if it is a fresh lead or existing prospect. So if it is an existing of a prospect, what was the previous conversation? What is the lead score? How much this lead old, and all those things. And also, third would be now once the user is able to see all those 360 view. So based on his disposition, the workflows can be designed, and then communications to the customers can be triggered in the most optimum and optimized way for business and customer both. And afterwards, these triggers, from inquiry till funnel, managing the complete funnel until it gets converted into customer, all that process will be seamlessly tracked and managed. And the reports and analytics from all these corners, from wherever it is required, as the data is there in the system. So all possible reporting that can be fetched out from the system. So we would be able to so understand the performance. We would be able to understand the complete effort management, all this stuff.
Yeah, I think also lead leakage is one problem that I've seen a lot of people face when they don't have a CRM. So having a CRM which has a defined process of the whole lead capturing, that whole screenshot that Vinny walked through earlier in the slide, I think that comes very handy and comes very important for the business, because if I'm talking from a point of view, if any of you businesses you're not using a proper CRM, or this is a small simple PHP CRM, then you might run into problems where you are leaking leads and you are not even able to track that. So essentially what you're doing is you're losing money. If there are 1,000 leads, let's say in 4 months, then based on your conversion rates, or based on your opportunity creates, you might be losing a lot. So having something integrated so that as an end-to-end workflow is very important, especially during these times when not only we are even more remote, so chances of things going wrong gets even higher. So having a proper system is very important, especially in these times, and also in the coming times. All right,
sure.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's very important, Gaurav. And we also, so we are having this webinar because of a certain situation that has arisen, and that situation is the COVID. So because of COVID, the work from home scenario has popped up into the system. where all the organizations, they have to enable the work from home solution for all the users. So what we did as a development, considering all this, we also are focused onto well-being of all the users. So with every, so check-ins, whenever they check in into the mobile app, so we have enabled something called as okay, how to keep yourself safe. So take the steps to protect yourself. So that's a kind of screen that comes in the mobile app. So that we have enabled for a lot of like for customers, like who has got like lot of people who are working on the mobile apps. So this is what I have to offer today. And I think so we're done with our all the slides and all the discussions. So Gaurav, would you want to add something onto it?
So guys, I would want to ask, I would just want to request you, like, if you have any questions, especially on setting up a remote contact center, and if you have any CRM relevant questions, I think Vinit covered a lot of areas today as per the flow, monitoring, tracking, reporting. So you can ask questions. We still have 10 minutes to spare, so we can cover those questions quickly in those 10 minutes. Shivani, if there are any question, we can also take it up as we go.
Sure. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you so much, Vineet. We do have questions indeed. So I'll start off with Dileep's question, who says, notifications will be shown in the mobile app as push notifications, or does he get a text message or WhatsApp or via WhatsApp?
So it's so WhatsApp, if you want to integrate, if you have, so I just want to answer it that way. If you have, WhatsApp business account that is integrated with LeadSquared, so you would be able to send the notification on WhatsApp as well. Otherwise, these notification comes in the app as a push notification. So I hope
All right.
I answered the query. Yeah.
Yes, Dileep, let us know if you have any follow-up questions, do ask. I am moving to Akif's question, who says, currently businesses use Skype, iBeam, Avaya as technology for calling. Do you think rates would be competitive for calling?
So I think
Uh,
Gaurav, yeah, if you can answer this.
I think you will have to elaborate the question. If you're asking me just the telephony rates, or you're asking about the VoIP rates, because for
Uh,
example Skype, yeah. If you can broaden up the question.
sure. So Akif just so he's talking about VoIP.
Okay, so I think the VoIP vendors. So for us, how we work is we do some partnership with VoIP vendors, and when we use it in our solution, for example, Avaya is providing a call center which is using voice over IP engagement, right? So he'll be buying that from a voice vendor of somebody like Clivio or Twilio. So it just matters what kind of rate he's getting, and then what kind of margin he's adding up to you guys. So every pricing works differently with every vendor, I would say. But in terms of the telephony PSTN price versus VoIP price, if you are calling from India market to an international market, I think VoIP will be cheaper for you. In the Indian market, as per regulation, you'll have to go with PSTN. You can't do VoIP-based calling in the within India market. I mean, if I'm calling you and we both are based out of India, we'll have to go through the PSTN route.
All right. I'm moving to Nakul's question. So this is open to both of you. What is the pricing per agent per month for Ameyo plus LeadSquared solution?
So Nakul, I think we have to connect offline separately to discuss on the commercials. I mean,
Okay.
so that depend upon the plan. I mean, like a lot of, so it's not, that direct that I can tell you your per user basis. I mean, the pricing would be on both sides. Like there will be some cost on Mayo. I mean, so you have to take Mayo's, platform, then you have to put your LeadSquared as well. So LeadSquared pricing is different, then Mayo is different. So we can, discuss that offline. I mean, if you can, just drop a note, so I would be able to take it up and answer you separately over a mail.
Okay. So Nakul, in terms of Ameyo's part, I would say we have a competitive pricing. I will not talk about numbers as Vineet said, but also from a value proposition point of view, I've highlighted this, that if you just want telephony and a CRM integrations, then you could go with a normal point cloud telephony solution vendor. But if you want real-time agent assistance as well, real-time queue management, maybe you have 50 agents. Let's say you have 50 agents and you're selling 4 products, and then suddenly the queries start rising for one particular campaign or a product, and the other agents are free. So these kind of situation handling can be done on Ameyo, which are not provided in point cloud telephony solutions available in the market. So, so there's a strong value proposition, which I think is a big differentiator if you're looking at a business in long term and not only from a price point of view. Other than that, we can obviously discuss this offline, as Vineet said.
Sure. I am moving to Urmi's question. And yes, Nakul has shared his details, so I will share that with the both of you. Urmi says, can we integrate our own business number with WhatsApp?
Yes, you
So,
should. You Vineet, is she talking about LeadSquared or is she talking about in general?
I mean, she's talking about WhatsApp. She has a business number. So it's a
Okay.
normal, I mean, mobile number or WhatsApp business number. I mean, Shivani, if, I mean, we need to understand those details. Then, I mean, Urmi, if
Okay.
you can just elaborate on those details, then probably we would
So
be
she
able to
has
answer.
said,
See, I mean, if
she says, can we have campaign-wise different WhatsApp numbers? So does that, ex
Okay.
make it easier or
Yeah, yeah. So, Shibani, I forgot the name. I'm really sorry.
Urmi?
Urmi, yeah. So Urmi, so we at Ameo, we are also as partners with WhatsApp. So and I do a lot of onboarding of the WhatsApp engagement. So for a WhatsApp business account, you can have 25 numbers under one account in a regular way. Okay, you can increase that. Depends on your use cases. So that will be covered. Let's say your business, you have one number for vendors, one number for product X, one number for let's say your partners. So you can do that. You can configure 25 numbers. And as far as number configuration is concerned, I would suggest that use mobile numbers rather than toll-free numbers from an engagement point of view. So that is the guideline from WhatsApp. So you should use mobile numbers. If it's an official mobile number, that should be good. And also, you should have the ownership of that number. Never go with a number which a vendor has provided. Get your own number and maybe get in touch with a vendor, WhatsApp API vendor, and he'll configure it for you. But have your own numbers, preferably mobile.
right? Okay, so the next question is actually asked by two people, so I will say it, and then if further conversations are needed offline, so then they can connect with you. So Nakul says, isn't WhatsApp messages allowed only for transactional messages? But the ones we are talking about here are promotional messages. Can we send promotional messages too with your solution? If yes, what is the cost per WhatsApp message? And Urmi has the same question, who says, what's the rate of WhatsApp message or module?
so, Nakul, I'll answer this. So WhatsApp, as of now, I mean, so allow only, like transactional messages. The cost per message is 35 paisa as of date. Okay, and those templates have to be approved by Facebook. So there is almost a 2 weeks process to set up this. I mean, once you have a WhatsApp business account, so there, I mean, all those templates has to be sent to the Facebook, I mean, for Facebook approval. And once it is approved, then those templates can be shared to the customers as messages. So integration can be done, but yes, I mean, it would be, I mean, only transactional messages. So promotional messages still are kind of not supported at WhatsApp.
Correct. So just adding up to Vinny's point, Nakul, so from a legal perspective, promotional messages are not added, not allowed. So when you create a template and if there's a promotional feel to it, or maybe directly or indirectly, there's a separate WhatsApp team. It's an individual team that sits and checks the templates manually. So that will be rejected, number one. And number two, from a business perspective, if everybody starts sending promotional messages, then that will lead to a lot of spam on the WhatsApp platform, which WhatsApp would not want to happen, right? Why are we at WhatsApp? We are at WhatsApp because we are doing personal things there, we are doing transactions there, whatever. But we are not getting spammed with messages and something that we don't want, basically. So from a WhatsApp's directive, that's the reason that these promotional messages are not to be sent. So, and from an operational perspective, that's how they keep a check on these things.
Okay. Moving to Binoy's question, and I think a lot of people may have similar concerns. Binoy says, what level encryption you're using for data security?
This is for LeadSquared.
It's just he's just asked it. So Binoy, if it's specific to any solution, let us know. But otherwise, that's the question. What level encryption you're
You
using
can,
for
yeah,
data
I mean,
security?
So data security, I think, I mean, I'd be able to answer Binoy through a mail. It's because the levels of encryption and all those details we'll share through a mail. We do not want to disclose it here. I mean, and also, so there will be a lot of, I mean, details into that. So Binoy, I mean, if you allow us, I would want to send this through a mail. Is it okay for you?
Sure. So Binoy, let us know. I'm moving on to his second question, and he says, "Does the utilization report show the idle time? I did not see that in the sample report."
Idle time, yes. If you're talking about from a contact center perspective, there's a report which shows a presence. It's a presence management report. It'll show you how much time the agent was available, how much time it was idle, how much time it was busy. You can connect with me, Benoy. This is Benoy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Shivani, can you? Yeah. So Benoy, you can connect with me, or maybe Shivani can share me your address. I can guide you to the correct report.
Yes, also a couple of you want to get in touch with Gaurav and Vineet. So maybe Vineet, if you could move to the next slide, Gaurav details are there, and I will share Vineet's details separately. So we're just going to take a couple more questions very quickly before time runs out. Ritesh, here's your question. Ritesh says, "Is LeadSquared capable of integrating with Prim calling solution PRI based?"
Yes.
See, I mean, yeah, please, Gaurav.
No, I mean it's a question. Yes, because DSquare integrates with Ameyo, and we offer
Correct.
cloud-based also, on-premise-based also. So if you have a PRI line, if you have SIP lines, or you have a mix of SIP and PRI, we cater to all your requirements.
All right, great. Yes, a couple of people are asking to be connected. So yes, I will connect you to the experts. Urmi's question is, are we doing anything on the Facebook integration front?
So we have already a Facebook integration. I mean, there is a connector that we have. So that is basically to capture all those inquiries. I mean, if you're running an ad, I mean, a paid ad on Facebook, and any submission happening on that, that will be, I mean, okay, it's like captured in LeadSquared. And secondly, so we have got Facebook, okay, retargeting app. So two ways. I mean, so one is okay, capturing of inquiry, and second is key. I mean, based on certain triggers or actions, if you want to okay, segregate the data and say bucket it to the retargeting funnel. So that way LeadSquared can help you.
All right. This is a question specifically for Gaurav. Neha wants you to explain a little more about Ameo.
Okay. So Neha, first thing I think you should check out our website, the slide that Shibani showed. So essentially, Ameyo is a customer engagement platform. So we help solving use cases for sales, like we are doing it with LeadSquared. We do it for customer service and customer support. By customer service, I mean the interaction management over voice, IVR, ACDs, WhatsApp, Facebook Messengers, Google Play Store, Instagram. So we have an omni-channel platform so that if your business wants to have an omni-channel customer service engine going, you can do it with Ameo. We do that. One. Second is from a ticketing aspect. So after you do all these interactions through different channels, if you want to create tickets also and you want to have a life cycle management of a ticketing system. So for example, in the market, you would have heard about Freshdesk, Zendesk. So these are ticketing systems which are cloud-based. Ameo is a ticketing system which is cloud-based, but we also provide premise-based ticketing system for our customers. And so all these channels, you'll be able to create tickets in Ameo and maintain their whole ticketing life cycle. So that is from a use case perspective what we do. We do contact centers, customer service, customer engagement, customer help desk ticketing systems. And we also have a product where we help with collections, like Ameo Collect is a product which helps with credit card debt collections. Mostly our customers are banks in that case, and we sell to mostly B2C customers, internet driven, or the traditional big enterprises like banks, financial services, insurance, NBFCs. And we also have solutions for other industries like travel, hospitality, healthcare, uh, internet-based healthcare. So everything. So think from a point of view, if you have large set of customers and your queries are growing, so an Ameo can solve that. If your customer service are growing, Ameo can solve that. If you have a large set of prospects and you want to dial out, reach out to them over different channels, Ameyo can help you solve that. We also integrate with a lot of systems, but this webinars is we're doing it with LeadSquared. So LeadSquared is one of those systems that we integrate to, but there are also other enterprise systems that we can help you with. I hope I was able to give some clarification on that. Anyway, you can also check our website.
Absolutely. Please, and quite a few people are actually wanting details, so that's fine. I've got the email IDs. I'll connect you to them. Vineet, so Urmi would like a demo for the Facebook integration that we talked about earlier. Now, I'm just going to take the last question for the day, and that's from Nakul again, who says, "Do you have a feature of FTR, first response time, for every lead in Ameyo or LeadSquared?"
First response time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he's saying. First
So,
response time.
Gaurav, so what Nakul means is once the lead is captured, so how much time it took for the first response time? So we know the capturing time, and yeah, so that report would be possible in LeadSquared.
Yeah, I think there's a
we have now
timestamp.
integrated. Yeah, correct.
Timestamp, so you can make a report out of it.
Correct.
All right. Perfect. I think there are a couple more questions coming in, but then just in the interest of time, some of them have been answered before. I think you all may have joined in late, and we will address them anyway offline. So thanks so much for joining the session. Thank you, Gaurav, for giving us your time. Thank you, Vineet, for taking the time to do this as well. Thanks so much for to the audience for joining in today. A lot of tongue twisters there. Okay. Take care, guys. Bye bye. I'll see you for another session tomorrow, actually. Yeah, another
All
session's
right. Thank
tomorrow.
you,
Thanks
guys.
a lot, Shiva. Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
Gaurav. Thanks for
Thank you,
everyone.
Sivan.
Stay safe.
Yeah,
Please be at home and stay safe. Thanks.
yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.